I need to hit the gym. So Creed 2 is directed by Stephen Caple Jr. and stars Michael B. Jordan as Adonis Creed, who following the events from the first movie has now become the world champion in heavyweight boxing. However, he has posed a new challenge by none other than Victor Drago, son of Ivan Drago, who killed his father 30 years ago. Now, I absolutely love Creed. I think the first Creed movie is just absolutely outstanding. I think it's one of the best Rocky movies. I just think it's just an absolute blast and so well put together, especially by director Ryan Coogler, who of course you may know from doing other things such as Fruitvale Station and of course Black Panther. He is just an incredible talent, such a great director, a fantastic writer, and he delivered a great film with the first Creed. However, he did not return for this movie. Obviously, this movie is in the very capable hands of Stephen Caple Jr., but saying that, I wasn't sure he was going to be capable hands, and I'd never seen him do anything before. But I will say that while my reservations were very limited, I think that, you know, they were still very well founded. But when it comes down to it, Creed 2 is an excellent sequel and a brilliant successor in its own right. First off, Michael B. Jordan, I mean, he never fails to impress me. Michael B. Jordan is one of the few actors who can pretty much guarantee emotion out of me no matter what film it is. Like I said, I just mentioned Fruitvale Station, which was also directed by Ryan Coogler and starring Michael B. Jordan. That is one of the very few movies where I physically cry my eyes out. I mean, I tear up a lot of things or I'll shed a tear, but I mean, Fruitvale Station, I was crying, like full on crying. So Michael B. Jordan is a really good actor in my books, given the fact that he is able to enact that kind of emotion from me. And I really loved him in the first Creed, and here in Creed 2, he just delivers it so much better. Obviously, he has a child in this movie now, which allows him to add another new element, a new edge to his character. His relationship with Tessa Thompson is fantastic as well. His relationship with Rocky. It's all really well established in the first movie. It continues to grow here, and Michael B. Jordan just grows with this role. Sylvester Stallone continues to really impress me in this, because obviously Sylvester Stallone, being the typical 80s action hero that he is, in these Creed movies obviously takes a lot more of a back seat, takes a lot more of an emotional supportive role in these films, and once again he delivers a very emotional and a very emotionally driven performance from his corner, and I think that he did a really good job as well. And again, he really did get me emotional in a few scenes. I mean, he definitely did that in the first movie too, but seeing it here as well, he's just a really great actor. I actually think he's quite underrated actually in terms of his emotional stuff and some of his more subdued roles, such as his version of Rocky in the Creed films. Also, we have Tessa Thompson returning as Bianca in this movie. I thought she was brilliant once again. I love Tessa Thompson. I think she's such a great talent, so funny, so beautiful, and I really think she was able to deliver a fantastic performance in this movie once again. What I really liked in this movie as well is that in the first movie, obviously, you know she has a music career, she does that, but you never actually really get to see any of it, whereas in this movie, she actually gets to perform live for one of Adonis's walkouts, which is really a great moment, and you should definitely listen to it on the soundtrack. The soundtrack overall is fantastic, but I'll get to that later. But Tessa Thompson, really good overall, and again, being the mother of the child is again another element to her character which gets added to, and there's a really specific element with the character in terms of the child, which I won't get into for spoilers, but it really does add an emotional edge to not just the movie, but their characters in particular. Now, the Dragos in this movie were absolutely terrifying. I mean, I don't know the actor's name off the top of my head, but Victor Drago was huge in this film. Like, he was massive, he was big, he was towering, he was giant, he was scary. He was legit devastating. The way he comes out, the way he fights, it's dangerous. You do not want to be in a ring with this guy. And I like the fact that Sylvester Stallone brings up a few good lines in this movie where he says, you know, this guy, he was raised in hate. He did not, you know, he's got nothing to lose here. So he's just going at it without any reservation because he has nothing to lose. Whereas Adonis has a lot to lose at this point. He has people who need him. He doesn't. And I think it really adds to the fact that this guy is a monster. He is just relentless. He will keep coming at you with his full force, and it's incredible to watch. And of course, we have Dolph Lundren returning as Ivan Drago, and he was also great in this movie. He doesn't get that many lines, but there's a particular element to his character that is brought in to do with like familial ties. That's all I'll say. And yeah, that's quite interesting as well. But also, him and Rocky don't really get much scenes together, but there's a particular moment, just a very slight moment that lasts no more than 5 seconds, and it gives you everything you need to know. Now, the fight scenes in the first Creed were very well handled due to the handheld style of camera work that Ryan Coogler decided to use for that movie. Now, I think all the fight scenes in Creed 2 are also epic. They're not quite as well handled if I'm being picky, but I will say, I still think they're incredibly riveting. You feel like you are in that ring with the two fighters, experiencing every blow that's being traded, and it's just really entertaining to watch. And it's also really invigorating to watch. You are sat there, you are cheering for Adonis, you want him to prevail, you want him to win these matches. So when you're in there and you're actually in that moment, I think it does a really good job of doing that. And even though, like I say, if I'm being picky, it wasn't done as well as the first Creed movie was, it still doesn't take away from how excellently filmed this movie is. And as I mentioned earlier, the score and soundtrack in this film is absolutely outstanding. I think, just the score by itself, which is Ludwig Göransson's score. He's also the guy who did Black Panther. Absolutely brilliant. It really does add a lot of awesome moments. The intensity is fantastic. It really does add to the idea of this adrenaline just being built throughout the entire film that all comes to blows at the end. And it's really well built up in that sense. And the score in this movie as well. I've been listening to the score, or the soundtrack, sorry, non-stop ever since I've seen this movie, ever since I came out. It's just been on my mind the entire time. It's an excellent score. I love it. And I think all the soundtrack in this film is just adding to why this movie is so great. Overall, I loved Creed 2. I thought it was a great sequel. Absolutely brilliant. While I personally prefer the first Creed over the second Creed, I still think this is a great movie in its own right. It's a great sequel. It really does a good job of continuing the story of Adonis Creed. And I don't know if they're going to make a Creed 3. There's been no official announcement of that yet. But given where this movie ends, I don't really know where they can go from here, because I don't really think there's much bigger you can go than Creed versus Drago. I don't really know if you can go bigger than that. So I'd be perfectly happy if we don't get another Creed movie, but if we do, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But in regards to Creed 2, it's a great movie and you should definitely go see it. So have you guys seen Creed 2? If you have, make sure you tell me all your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, guys, if you want to see more movie reviews from me, be sure to subscribe. And I hope to see you guys again in my next video.